one of the home um, how do you call it?
Owner?
Revitalization or rebuilding, whatever. Guy bought an old Coast Guard life-saving station along the coast. And he was going to put up, he fixed it all up, he even had a sign painted, U.S. Coast Guard, da-da-da-da, and so forth. And he put an antenna up. And the historical preservation people said, oh, you can't do that. And now it doesn't. And going, okay, take a look at this. And he had a photograph back when it was a life-saving station. And what was there up there? A Marconi cage antenna. And that's what he had built and put up there. And he said, I created it right down to their wireless antenna. And boom, that was it. He got it. But yeah, the historical preservation, that's a whole different thing. And this really doesn't cover that, because the historical preservation, you're wandering into a real snake storm. Yeah. Any other questions?
I've got a comment.
Oh, comment.
I just wanted to comment. I participate in the SCAR's Elmer night on Tuesday nights, a lot of times on the Zoom, and we have a lot of people coming on there asking questions. I'm in an HOA and I'm a ham, I'm getting my general license, what can I do? And we talk about that a lot. So this last Tuesday, we brought up this legislation and the letters, and somebody found a link where those letters are available to all our senators and congressmen. And I think that would be good, Bill, if we could have that in the minutes where we could easily access that when people ask.
Yeah.
We looked at, 3 or 4 of us were on the computers looking for it, and somebody finally found it and posted the URL for it. But and I don't remember what it was, unfortunately. But it'd be really good to have that handy, because it's an issue all over, not just with us. So.
Yeah, that site is the Oklahoma Section ARRL site. And Bill, I'll get to you, and you can, it has the links for all 5 House representatives and both senators. The problem was saying, yeah, go take a look at it on the website, and I go, yeah, I'll do that. And as soon as you walk out the door, no, forget about it. We've got them right here. And if you haven't done a new one, please do so. We want to try to get as many letters on the Congress and senatorial desk as possible. Yeah.
That's different than what we signed last month.
No, these are the same as last month.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the only difference to the old letters that we signed last year is the title of the bill.
Yeah.
The title has changed, and that's why we need to do new ones. Okay. Any others?
Before we
Okay.
go,
Oh, yeah.
you talked about the covenants that are in place in a neighborhood. My daughter's property has covenants on it that not only prohibit the antenna, but they prohibit operation of amateur radio or Citizens Bank.
They can't enforce that.
I know, but no antennas.
You would be surprised how many HOAs just plop rules down there and say, we're going to, and I heard one story where a guy said, you can't operate RF devices. And he says, okay, I want every garage door opener,
Right.
every remote control, every cell phone. Either you have to check them at the gate or you have to stop using them. What do you mean? They put out a signal.
Yeah.
And that there are situations where there are covenants prohibiting antennas where the lots for the property are as much as 5 acres. Now, I can see them like where I live. It's virtually a 0 lot line situation. But a lot of it is aesthetics, but they continually come up with statements from realtors and real estate associations and so on that amateur radio, presence of amateur radio antennas has 0 effect on the resale of real property. There was one where the guy said, they asked some guy, well, what did you think about all those ham radio antennas next door? He said, what antennas? He hadn't even noticed them. So, all right, if there are no other questions, after the meeting, we'll have the letters here. Again, please fill them out in blue or black ink. All right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say in my HOA, I question how they can enforce anything, you know.
Well, there's a legal term that says if you have a set of rules like a CCNR and it's not maintained, and what that means is if you live in a neighborhood that says you can only have black roofs, for years there's been a guy down there with a red roof and nobody did anything about it, then that thing is completely unenforceable because they can't get to pick what they will and will not enforce.
Yeah, we've got a lot of that. And
Yeah.
Anyway, Terry, you want to move this along?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I've changed some of the contesting. I'm trying to limit it to stuff that is a little more interesting to most folks. I'll put the state contests up for Jim, and I'll put some QRP stuff up for Dwayne, all the CQ worldwide and all the ARL contests. Occasional special event station like 66 will show up there. So anyway, this is what we've got for March on this slide. There's a RIDI contest, and Tom reminded me that RIDI is pretty much a contest mode anymore, that you just don't find it on the daily stuff. So I'll try to put the RIDI contests up there. And Virginia's having a QSO party. A lot of them are going to, I mentioned it on the net, a lot of the state contests, they're stopped operating at night. So I may just stop putting up split. I may just put up the start on Saturday and the end on Sunday, realizing that in the middle of the night, most of them just stop and get off. It'll range from anywhere from 7 to 11 o'clock at night to maybe they don't start until 9 in the morning. So I'll stop putting that stuff up there. That Sasquatch Stomp is a QRP CW. I know we got a lot of QRP folks. Do read the rules. If I put read the rules, that means they're either distance scoring or power scoring or really oddball stuff. So I'll put read the rules, and please do so if you're going to get in that contest. And then a CQ worldwide WPX for the new guys. You're chasing prefixes. So every prefix is a multiplier, and there's a national, international award that counts prefixes. And surprisingly enough, you can get to 300, 400, 500, 600 prefixes in the blink of an eye. Into April, we're in the middle of our QSO parties for the states. You can see quite a few of them up there. There's Florida, Georgia, and I think Texas have specific POTA events. Texas is we've either already had it or it hasn't come up yet. But those are the QSO parties for the states. And ending into April again, there's the Texas POTA. I see it now. More states, the Holy Land Worldwide, a Rookie Roundup phone version. Ontario, if you're doing QSO parties from Canada, that's theirs. Nebraska and Michigan. So anyway, I'll try to cut the number down and try to make them more interesting. I know that Coy does that for the international DX because I know there's tons of them out there, but he kind of limits it to some of the more popular ones. Yes, sir.
What is the Holy Land?
Worldwide. 4X Israel. Yeah, and I've got them several times, but they don't use Logbook World, and I am strictly a Logbook of the World to get I don't send out cards and stuff like that. So they're hard to get. At least I've had a hard time getting them that use Logbook